Hey guys, it's Elle back for another TTC update for you guys. Now, when I last left you, I had no idea when I had ovulated and I could not figure things out. Well, just a few days after I did that video in my bathroom being like, what the heck is going on? I finally got a stark positive. Now, what was funny is when I got the positive, I was a little bit dehydrated just from the day that I had I hadn't drinking enough water, and so I was like, oh my gosh, did that affect it? And so I drank a ton of water, and then I took another test later on, and it was still positive. So I was like, okay, phew, because I don't know if you guys have ever been paranoid about that, but you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I got this right. So anyways, I'm officially into my 2-week wait now, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of update about my progesterone cream use since I didn't talk about it a ton last time. Okay guys, so I'm officially in my 2-week wait. Yay! So officially in my 2-week wait for this cycle. Now I started using the progesterone cream. So after I had a very stark LH test, I kept testing my LH every 6 hours or so. Obviously not while I was sleeping, but just roughly every 6 hours until I was definitely negative. And then I was like, okay, now 3 days after I got that, I started using the progesterone cream because unless you're not ovulating, which I don't know. I don't even know at this point. I've seen videos about PCOS and I'm like, I don't know. But anyways, so obviously if you are not ovulating, then nothing's gonna help you in that direction unless you have medical help. But basically 3 days after the positive LH test is when I started using it, because if you are ovulating, you have definitely ovulated after 3 days from the LH test. So I wanted to make sure. So then 3 days after, that's when I started taking all of the progesterone supportive medicines that I take. So that would be the flaxseed oil, because that kind of keeps your estrogen levels lower, and then I started taking the oil of oregano, which I just recently started, in the past couple cycles or whatever. I don't remember exactly when, but at some point I started the oil of oregano. So I started that, and then I also started the progesterone cream, which I'm really excited to talk to you guys about. So my experience with the progesterone cream was actually really good. There were some downsides, so I'll talk a little bit about the negatives and the pros and things like that. So the major downside for me is I did have some side effects from the progesterone, but they were not nearly as bad as some of the symptoms I've had in the past. So usually after I have after I ovulate, I get very sore in the chest area. Very sore. There have been times where I literally have had to use ice packs every couple hours. It's hard to move. It hurts so much. And I've talked to my doctor about this, and they're like, yeah, that kind of maybe sounds like a hormone imbalance, but at this point, the best thing you could do is just what you're doing, ice packs, supportive undergarments, things like that. And I've tried every kind of undergarment. I've tried not using undergarments when they're sore to see if, I've tried everything. The point is, I get very sore. And so with the progesterone cream, I was amazed I had no soreness at all. I was waiting for it to come, and it didn't come, and I was really happy about that. The downside of the progesterone is it did give me bad heartburn. Now I actually literally Googled progesterone H, and heartburn jumped right onto Google, and I was like, oh, obviously this is a very widely Googled thing. Yes, apparently it does give people a lot of heartburn, and I'm not one to ever get heartburn, so that was the only annoying part. I did use a little remedy that my husband swears by, because he gets heartburn way more than I ever do, and it's a teaspoon of baking soda in a cup of warm water, and you stir it together and drink it, and it helps to neutralize extra acid and whatever. And that actually worked really well for me. So that was the only downside, is that I did have some heartburn. So the other thing that was nice is I'm at the tail end of my 2-week wait. So, but I do have to say what's exciting is the symptoms that I've been having are not typical PMS, so I don't know if it's worked and something clicked and maybe I'm actually pregnant, woohoo, or if it's just the progesterone not giving me tons and tons of the PMS symptoms. I usually get very kind of emotional. I mean, it's hard to tell because I'm more emotional now that we're trying and it's not working, and I get more emotional during my periods because it stinks that I'm not pregnant, so it's hard to figure that out. But I did notice that I am less emotional on this end instead of crying at the drop of a hat and whatever, I've been a little bit less emotional and in a good way. Like I've been like happier, I've had more energy, things like that. So yeah, so just my side effects were just the heartburn, but I think it's actually been worth it for me because I haven't had any PMS symptoms, or I guess pregnancy symptoms? I don't know. I haven't had as many symptoms on this tail end of things, and I didn't have the chest hurting, which was huge. I don't know if there's anyone else out there that gets PMS symptoms like I do, or post-ovulation symptoms, 2-week wait symptoms, whatever, like I do, but it's crazy and it's not fun, and so I'm super happy that I found something that really works for me. I'm excited to potentially be able to get like these hormones tested and things like that coming up. We've decided that like if I do go like this cycle, after this cycle, it'll officially be a year of trying, not necessarily like cycle-wise, but like time-wise, if that makes sense. So after this, we're gonna start exploring the idea of like going to a fertility center and things like that and getting more evaluations done, because my husband's been evaluated but I haven't officially. So obviously this all kind of points to some kind of hormonal imbalance, and so I'd really like to get that checked out. So obviously I'm excited to see what happens there, but other than that, that's it for now, guys, and I just wanted to give you a quick update. I am on 10 DPO right now, so I'm super excited, and I'll let you guys know what happens. Ah!